All right, it's 7 minutes after 2 o'clock. King Liar again. Again, King Liar stated that he is going to have his press conference at 2 o'clock. It's almost 10 minutes after 2. We are awaiting King Liar. We need to hear what King Liar has to say so that you know what we oftentimes do here, right? We counter, um, we counter whatever King Liar says, and we do that with much pace. Um, we just don't wait um, for it to settle and these sort of things. So we are waiting King Liar again. We are waiting King Liar to start his press conference so that we chip whatever he has to say and expose it right away. We're not going to allow it to settle at all. So you guys be prepared. Get your glass of swank or whatever it is that you use at this point in time, so that we can break every single thing down that King Liar has to say. Everything King Liar has to say. That is what we will be doing this afternoon. Let me just get a quick idea as to where you guys are listening to us from. Are you guys in New Amsterdam right now? New Amsterdam, good evening to all of you. Don't forget, you got to go out, you got to vote on June 12th. You got to go out and vote on June 12th. You got to do that. You just got to go out there and do that. We can't slip up. We can't sleep on this job. We should not be sleeping on this job at all. Do not sleep. And that is why we oftentimes say to the members of parliament, do not sleep on the job. Do not sleep on the job, guys. We do not want you guys to sleep on the job at all. Don't do it. The political opponents, they don't sleep on the job. So why should you guys? Um, Tanti Moral, King Liar, King Kong is running late. He's probably monitoring what's happening at this end because he knows that we're going to chip his lies into pieces. Madhya, good afternoon to all the folks at Madhya. Hope all is well. Let me see where else. New Amsterdam. What's happening in New Amsterdam, guys? Brooklyn, New York. Hi, Janice Booker. Brooklyn, New York. Um, Rita Clark. Where's Rita listening to us from? Come on, Rita. Give us your location. Give us your location, please. Vanessa Stewart, how are you? What's your location? Okay, you don't have to tell us, Vanessa. You don't have, please don't tell us. All right, so Tanti Morel is about to start. King Liar is about to start his press conference. Let's be prepared. What do you guys think he's going to say this afternoon? You know he lies a lot, right? What do you guys think he's going to say, King Liar? Let's see if you can. Let's start almost right away. What do you guys think King Liar is going to say today at his press conference? He's going to start off, of course, with the opposition. He's going to start off with Parliament. All these things he's going to start off with. So, good evening. If you're now joining us, uh, Miss Winter. Oh, Miss Winter, all the way in New Amsterdam. How are you? All right. So, King Liar is about to start his press conference, or whatever you want to describe his whatever, um, which should be any moment now. Any moment now, King Liar should start his press conference. The lie. King Liar. King Liar. Toronto. Speaking of King, Joe King. Are you Joe King? Joe King. What do you guys think King Liar is going to be talking about this afternoon? Look, King Liar's already there. Look at King Liar. Look at King Liar. Already there. Already look very nervous.
Spent some time in Port Kaituma, Matthews Ridge, Mabaruma, and now Bartica. And it was a welcome relief from the madness of Glenlyle and the ineptitude of Norton, the daily dose that we have here in Georgetown. So I think it's a good therapy. And those of you who want to get away from this craziness should sometimes do that trip because you meet real people, you hear about real concerns, And what you find are people who are willing to put in the effort to change their own lives. And they instinctively know which party is focused on the issues that matter to them. They're very discerning people, not just in the hinterland, but rural areas when you go to Linden, etc. And here too, ordinary people generally, they they can separate the nonsense and the gaff from real plans and from
Yeah, right. Let's get right off the bat. He thinks that the indigenous people are going to listen to him. He thinks that the indigenous people forgot about him, how he treated them, all manner of things. He locked them up. He did all sort of things to them. They neglected them for 20 something years. So suddenly he goes into the interior. He carries his germs and whatever else there to contaminate those communities. And he's back now talking about what a wonderful trip it was. Oh, what a wonderful world, right? That you have damaged, Jagdeo. So, anyways, right off the bat, he starts with the lies.
talking about political statements. We have had quite a few in the past week since I held the last press conference. We've had the launch of the APNU local government campaign in Georgetown, and the Demerara waves acting like God, multiplying the loaves like Jesus. They multiplied 60 persons, became 250, the 60 in attendance. So we were watching it carefully, and we were surprised by the number that the
No, no, look, right off the bat, he wants things to be his way. So he's attacking Demerara Waves right off the bat, attacking Demerara Waves to say that Demerara Waves said it was 600 or 200 or 300, when in fact it was 60. This King Liar, you see why we have to call him King Liar? And let him compare that to the crowd that they had, so-called crowd that they had at Babujan, that they paid people to attend. Babujan numbers used to be lots, 10 times more than that under Chetty Jagan and maybe under Donald Ramotar or whatever, but not under Jack Dare. Just a few dozens of people turned out at Babujan, but yet he's going to start off his press conference to talk about the numbers at the LGE launch for the APNU.
apostles were the ones who had no interest in my development in the last several years they've been in government in the city. And so Norton did at the rally that they called his 60 persons rally, he did a number of things. He first of all complained that I talk too much,
Which is true.
that it was actually funny. I find it very interesting when he speaks about these things. He said he complained about me talking. I'm not going to read everything, but then he said, but now he got to come every Thursday after I done talk to talk. So there is Norton complaining that I talk after him, his Thursday morning thing. So he as I said before, Norton is a very gifted person. You're the leader of opposition. I'm the general secretary of our party. I'm still opposing leaders if you talk nonsense. And I'm responding to the lies that you peddle and you've kept peddling in this country for a long time. So the entire rally, if you look at it, and I would urge you to read it out of just interest, read the transcript or listen to them, all the speakers who spoke. They didn't have a single thing to speak about Georgetown. They didn't tell the people of Georgetown how they're going to improve their lives. Now, this is a local government launch, and they're speaking.
It's not, and you guys got to up the ante a little bit. This is not giving the Satan airtime. This is countering what the Satan is saying. He's now talking about local government elections, but he's not going to say that it was the PPP under his stewardship that they denied the people of Georgetown or the people of Guyana local government elections for 20 plus years. They have denied that. And we've got to give the APNU coalition kudos for returning local government elections to Guyana. Kudos, something that these guys, King Liar, does not, they do not believe in local government elections. So we oftentimes we would carry just to counter the lies of King Liars. So mind you, Charlene, we're not giving him Satan space. We are countering what Satan, and we got to hip heist dong lick dong lash dong Satan. You know that song when you go in church? That is what we're doing here. So this is our heist dong lick dong lash dong Satan segment. So let's get back to the lies again.
manifesto, and I spoke to the activists, and I said, here are some of the things that you can promise because they are doable if you win in the city. And you would have the full backing of the government if you do that. And it's all positive. I said to them, stay away from the negatives. Stay away. People know about APNU track record. Not a single part in our flyer would we deal with the past.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy, but up no track record. This guy has a horrible, the most horrible track record throughout Guyana, the most horrible throughout the Caribbean. Look at the people that he loves to associate with, criminal gangs, you name it. That's Barrett Jagdeo. That's him. His friend Mark Kazarki, and so forth and so on, and other drug lords and phantom squad killers and so forth. Forget about this guy. This guy. But we will still, every time he talks, we will counter him. Look at what Evan Bruce, that is saying. Talk about the oil money for the people. He's not going to talk about the oil money for the people because they want to steal the oil money.
And say, we will win in Georgetown. The PPP will now win in Georgetown. That is like me going to Port Morant and saying, the PPP will win in Port Morant. It's a foregone conclusion in like Port Morant's case. I would never say that in Port Morant because we'll get the bulk of the votes. When you have to start defending in your stronghold that we will win and reassure yourself that we will win, you're very worried and you're scared. And that's the tone of their campaign. So that is why they have to lash out at everyone and everything and lie again to the people of Georgetown. So what I predicted that they were telling the vendors through whisper campaigns because they're known for this. Norton actually said it publicly. We predicted they were going to do this. He said, I want to warn the vendors that they're out of power in Georgetown and every day up news so that you could continue to vend. Something like that. It's
No, but that is true. The vendors have never had it nice under the PPP regime. They've always been discriminated against. They've always been treated badly. And I know that firsthand because I was there with the vendors and I know the sort of treatment meted out to them by Barra Jagdeo and the PPP. So Aubrey Norton and others in the APNU, PNC do not have to go in whisper campaigns and so forth. I am sure that the PNC operatives, they don't have to go in the bottom house whispering meetings, talking racism as what the PPP is accustomed to with their bottom house meetings and their racism at those meetings and so forth. So sometimes I wonder, look, I'm going to give another few minutes with this here because I have probably better things to do with my time than to listen to this king liar. I'll probably go in a street corner and eat a snow cone or something.
friends, I pointed out how they used to peddle this lie about us killing 400 people and the expose that was done in the Starbuck News that destroyed this whole argument. It was a total lie. But they spread that rhetoric, the rumor, in particularly Afro-Guyanese among young kids, so that they to alienate them from the PPP. In this day and age, when that has been disproved, when there's evidence that it's a lie, he talks about that. And this is a Georgetown campaign. Coretta McDonald, the gold program is a waste of time. It was scholarships weren't a waste of time when ministers and their children were getting scholarships. Now 13,000 people are studying on the gold program. It's a waste of time. Those people are wasting their lives. So
No, that's not what Curtin McDonald, that's not what they're saying. People are not saying that people are wasting their lives. With the gold scholarships, it's a majority, 95% of those schools or colleges or whatever it is, institutions are not recognized. They're just not recognized. And somebody's getting a big drawback out of this here. And that is what folks are talking about. For example, somewhere out in Ireland, some little small community college in Ireland or somewhere was offering some degree or what is it, high school equivalent stuff, certificate, nobody knows about. And then the taxpayers of Guyana have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars for these things. And that is what it's about. Jagdeo is the last person should talk about scholarships. He's the last person should talk about education because under the PPPC regime from 1992-93, the withdrawal of free university education for 20, almost 20, going in 30 years, the people of Guyana were deprived. Young people turned adults now were deprived of an opportunity of free education at the university level. So this is the last person should be talking about that. In terms of ministers and their families and their kids and so forth getting scholarship under the coalition, he is behaving as though for 20 something years they have not benefited from that. Come on, Jagdeo. People know the truth. So, anyways, back to King Liar.
at a press conference now he had last week, he weighed in on the issue of the insurance full liability coverage for insurance and or the financial assurance. And I think Mr. Norton has a big issue with understanding the difference. Like with so many things, I pointed out that it's not an easy matter to deal with. And that is why we have let, for a number of years, the politicians, we as politicians, like with the audit, we try to keep ourselves away from giving directions to the technical people who are handling the audit because the audit agencies they have one clear direction, which is to look out for the best interests of the country. But it's a technical issue, and the specialists should deal with that. So, too, at the EPA, we have made it clear that Exxon has to meet all of its financial obligations. We strengthen the environmental permit to deal with spill. We made sure that in the
right,
last permit, we
maybe the
have to bring in a
Chinese company
stock
that
in the
did not
country
get
that would allow
the
us to
the
cap a well
agreement that they
easily
wanted
if it
here,
blows out,
maybe they're the
so
ones
that
who told
we
you,
don't
or
have
it
to
could be just
import it only
a fictitious
when
thing.
Okay, well, let's talk
or
about
if
specific
a
individuals.
spill
What is your relationship with
be
Mr.
capped that
Sujaro?
easily.
So,
We have said that they have to
so
have subscriptions to
my
buy
relationship.
more, strengthen it enormously. I'm not going to go through the details here again today. I've done so at other occasions about spill water and cradle to grave management of waste. If you
Right
look at the
across
permits that
Ghana,
we have
when the
published,
ministers of
you
Great
will
Job
see the
or Nagamutu
evolution and the
come here
strengthening
after the
of these
21st of
permits.
March,
Now, the issue
you
of
say to them,
the
walk
parent
behind
guarantee
them, chase them out, they're
assurance
going to be
was
illegal.
outstanding
Say
for
to
a
them,
long
you're
time.
illegal.
The
Free up
MEPFAIR
the
was
country, you're
submitted the
undemocratic.
$600
They're going to
million
face a different
of
situation right across
liability
the country.
coverage
Distance.
that
When
is
they
from
come
the
to
local
the
company,
communities, whether it
and
is
that
in
is paid
Berbice
for
or
by a
Essequibo
premium.
and Linde,
We check the premium. The premium is in line with international standards because it comes out of cost oil. So all of that, we ensure that that happens. The negotiation on the parent company guarantee was protracted, but there was no issue as to whether they had to give a parent guarantee. There was no issue about whether that should be done. It's protracted, but it's done by technical people. If you look at the statement issued today by the EPA, I want to advise Norton and the others to read this.
don't just jump into issues that you don't understand. Every every person now is becoming specialist in insurance and insurance liability, full liability coverage and disability and unlimited insurance and all of that. We pointed out there is a reason why the EPA and the EPA in its own determination um, made that decision would appeal this judgment.
That is not true. They actually forced the EPA to appeal the judgment because Exxon is upset about that, and Jagdeo rushed off right off the bat to bat in the corner of Exxon and threw the Guyanese people under the bus. The only reason he's coming back here now to explain and to explain further what really happened, thinking that people are that gullible, is that he got caught again being unpatriotic, selling out Guyana. That is what it's about. And so he's coming. This is a cleanup campaign for him. The cleanup campaign is too late. Most of his supporters see him as unpatriotic, as a sellout to Guyana, the same way that he went after Essequibo to sell out a portion of Essequibo to the Venezuelans. That's precisely what he's doing now. It's just basically a cleanup campaign. He has been caught red-handed, being unpatriotic. If I had my way, he would have been locked up and charged with treason.
The co-venturers to move to the signing. This was even before the judgment. Now the judge, but there, as we pointed out, there is nothing called in an insurance world an unlimited assurance policy. So this was a major issue for us. And today, in the statement, I would urge you to look at the EPA statement and urge all of those who have become specialists, including Norton and his not the economist who is not an economist, Elson Lowe, to read this. It's a complex issue. The EPA sets out all of the work it has been doing, with whom it's been consulting, um, with, with what regulators around the world, in the UK, in many areas, about the comparables before they came up with numbers. And they say on the EPA Act itself, it says the, the section 31.
All right, let's stop there for a moment. Jagdev is saying that there is no such thing as unlimited assurance in a policy. Look, there again, I wonder what class he sat in when he attended the University of Lumumba, I believe, or one of those universities out in Russia many, many years ago under the PNC. And mind you, when he returned under the PNC, he was able to work um, under the PNC. The PNC never discriminated against him like what he and his regime they're currently doing to thousands upon thousands of people. But he just said that there's no such thing as unlimited assurance policy. Here it is. Unlimited assurance policy can refer to different types of policies depending on the context. It can refer to a policy that offers unlimited benefits for long-term care insurance. Now, this is a guy. Did you guys just hear him say that there's no such thing as unlimited assurance policy? Did you guys wait a minute? You guys just heard him that there's no such thing as unlimited assurance policy. And you guys just heard, some of you might be in the insurance business, there is such a thing as assurance policy. An assurance policy. Wow. This guy is something else. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Dollars, depending on the case, the worst case scenario. But you cannot, you can be criticized because it's all assumption based when you do simulations. So you have to, at some stage, come up with a number based on the assumptions you make. So it's not an easy thing, and that's why we've let the technical people do this. We're not, in spite of the charges that we like to get our hands into everything. See, Starbuck no said that of me. So that we allow the professionals to act independently at the EPA. So I would urge these people who are conveniently, Norton and the others have nothing to do. So they almost, they just wait on something issue that comes up in the media and they hope, oh, it's getting a little bit traction. So let's conveniently jump in and say we support it without even understanding the issue. And that is what happened here at Norton. Norton convened a press conference to talk about it, but he didn't understand it. Secondly, at the same press conference, he was asked about whether they would renegotiate the Stabrook contract. So you have a clear answer from the PPP. A clear answer. It was clear when we were in opposition. We said we will not renegotiate the Stabrook Block contract. However, here are the things we will do. Seven things we listed basically, including new act, the new Natural Resources Fund Act, the new Petroleum Act, new Natural Resources Fund Act, a new PSA, a whole range of stuff. All of that we said we will do.
Okay, well,
Maybe,
maybe right. Maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here. Maybe they're the ones who told you, or it could be just a fictitious
when they were
thing.
in government.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sudra?
Now they're in opposition.
So-
He's refusing to say what they will do
My relationship.
with it. So that
Nothing.
is the
He is-
convenience that
he's a
you
tenant
get.
in my
They're
place,
very
yeah.
convenient
Good friend of yours?
about
Yes,
policy
yes,
making.
yes. He
You
is a
get
friend of
clarity
ours.
from
His
the
father
PPP. We
was
get
here
criticized
from
for it,
many
but
years
we
ago.
stand our ground on this
You
and
listen.
say why. We give explanations. I've already given the explanations why we decided.
That is not true. A lot of things, when they were in the opposition, they've lied, and they continue to lie, even though they are in government under questionable circumstances. They continue to lie and lie and lie. But look at what he's attempting. It seems as though every time Elson Lowe speaks on the economy, he speaks about the 214 million missing US dollars from the Exxon's audit. His bumps raised, this guy's bumps raised. And the only thing that he can say, this is somebody who cares about young people, mind you, right? The only thing that he can say is that uh, Elson Lowe is not an economist. Elson Lowe is not an economist. But he likes this guy, Jagdeo, loves to brand himself as an economist. A few moments ago, he said that there's no such thing as an assurance policy. Look, this is what it's saying here, that an assurance is an arrangement in which an insurers pays reimbursement for a specified occurrence, such as death and so forth. Your assurance, it's an assurance policy. Oh, Father, do we have some insurance guys out there can just prolong that a little instead of listening to this guy here who is not making any sense at all? I don't know what else. What else is it? Let me look at some of your comments, please, on this whole thing. People are saying Bundari should stop, and you know, this is what is called swamp moment. You sit down and you just have to smile. You have to laugh. Unlimited insurance means there is no cap. Obviously, Cyril, there is no cap. This guy doesn't know. This guy doesn't know about that. But yet he sits there and he wants to talk about what Elson Lowe. He might talk about Roysdale Ford. He's talking about Aubrey Norton. Everybody he's talking about. Everybody's so wrong. Stabrook News got it wrong. Demerara Waves got it wrong. The only person that has it right, according to this King Liar, is King Liar. King Liar is the only person that got every single thing right. King Liar. Have you guys wondered why is it that every time he has this sort of therapeutic kind of session, is it that he is the only one that is allowed to speak? No one else is next to him. Not a single person is next to him. No one else is next to him. King Liar is something else. Let's hear for a couple more minutes before we go.
To do so, which is our, as a free person in this country to do that. But she's prostituting herself to the PPP. That is his disregard, and that should be condemned. He then went after the Kashif and Shanghai group, and because they issued a statement and they were right that he's the worst leader the PNC has ever seen. Not that they have in that crop of leaders now any who is better than him, because I've seen their performance too. But they pointed out he's gone after them again for contracts. The problem he has is with Afro Guyanese making progress under the PPP. It doesn't fit into his narrative of discrimination. So it's okay for anybody to get contracts. If you're Indo-Guyanese, you can't get on PPP, you mustn't get any help or contracts, because that's discrimination. And if you're Afro-Guyanese or Amerindian and you get a contract, you're drinking soup. That's his thing, that you're drinking soup from the PPP. So he's not really interested in people getting contracts. His problem is not the race, it's the PPP. It's PPP, it's not the race. But they're race baiting all the time. He was asked about it, always race baiting at every one of the press conferences. So he rolled out a number of people.
Sorry, who could be more race baiting than Barrett Jagdeo? Do you think Barrett Jagdeo really cares about those people who are heading, the few people who have crossed over? Who have crossed over? I don't know. I don't know. I noticed another side. Brian is saying that, bro, I fed up waiting. What are you waiting? What are you waiting on, uh, Brian? But this guy has the audacity to talk about race baiting. I don't think anybody in the opposition has a problem with people getting contracts. But what they have a problem with is the imbalance of that, right? Where 95 or 98% of the contracts are going to friends and cronies of the PPP. And majority of those folks happen to be of East Indian descent. It doesn't mean that they're giving out contracts to all of the Indian brothers and sisters. No, they're just giving them to a few of the corrupt ones within the PPP. And that is what's happening. That is what the opposition is talking about. And then they come out now and throw some crumbs at Kashif and Shanghai. For example, the build a school out in Linden, almost $300 million. Absolutely nothing. Where is that school? Not a classroom. Not a classroom at all. Not a classroom at all. But yet he has this, well, of course, he doesn't have any shame. He comes and he talks about almost everything as though he is the best at it. Best at every single thing. He talks also about people calling names. Yep, sorry about that. Calling names of people who are given a box of cook up and fried rice to walk over. Isn't it the same guy? Isn't this the same Jagdeo that called Moses Nagamutu Nimakaram, Chamar, Katahar, Korhi? Isn't this the same Jagdeo that called Ramjatan all sort of names? Isn't it the same Jagdeo that called Dr. Ramaya all sort of names? Isn't it? Wait a minute. Like this guy, he forgot that he did worse than that. Look at the names. Look at what he said and did about was it Ramjatan, that Ramjatan get Kakai and all manner of things. This is coming from a guy who is pretending that he's now upset that people calling some of these grasshoppers running over to the PPP, wearing their red t-shirts for a bowl of cook-up, a box of fried rice, and couple chicken, what was it, legs, chicken legs and wings and so forth. That's what they're doing. So for him to come and say that this is so wrong, this is not right. Remember what he did to Moses. Remember what he did, Moses Nagamuta, that is. Remember what he did to Ramjatan. Remember what he did to Ramaya. And even guys like Charadas, the Judas, that switched back over to them, he once cursed out as well. So he has a history of cursing out people. So look, let's hear at least for a couple of minutes more what's happening. A couple of minutes more, because like I'm hungry, man. tired too listening to him.
drawn from the fund for this year, say 50 billion Guyana dollars. If we withdraw now 10 billion from the fund and put it into the treasury, it means 40 million would be remain to be withdrawn. So we notify the public 10 million has been withdrawn now. Next month we may withdraw another 10, but we're not increasing the total sum. It's the same 50 billion at the end of the year. It's just that we passed a law so people will know when this will happen for transparency. They didn't know this. Norton doesn't know this. It's unbelievable that a leader of the opposition will say they've gone back to withdraw an additional 30 billion from the natural resources of the fund. When that is what Adam Harris asked him. Well, Adam Harris, I can forgive Adam Harris. I see he complained about the comrade leader business that he used to call me comrade general secretary, and I didn't object. But but I'm not going to focus too much on Adam Harris this week. Just that an incompetent leader of the opposition could not point this out to the reporter to say, no, it's not additional. Please, you have it wrong. But he concluded the PPP doesn't know how to budget and we're incompetent. It is his incompetence that he reflected here, his lack of knowledge. Can you
Let's stop there for a moment. Every 3 months, they got to go and dip their hands into the oil fund because they run out of money. They thief the money. They give it out to their friends and cronies. And $41.6 billion. What do you think they're going to do with that money? They're not. They're not doing proper infrastructural works around the country or anything. They're not putting up lights along the Linden Soosdike Highway, something that started under the coalition. They're not putting lights along the number 19 stretch, that stretch right from Palmyra all the way up, as happened under the coalition. And for 23 years, they haven't done these things. So he's not going to talk about these sort of things. All he does, he throws jabs and, like you run up and you want to fight somebody, and then you realize that they get long nails and they get Q-tex on the nails, and you realize that you're going to get scratched. They're going to scratch you up, right? Even though you're going to throw some serious punches on them, they will scratch you up. What he's doing here right now, he's scratching up. It's a scratch that he's attempting to scratch up those in the opposition. He wants to scratch up Norton. He wants to scratch up Adam Harris. I don't know. Something is wrong with this scratcher. Something is definitely wrong with this scratcher. Has he said anything that of any substance, anything that made sense so far? I don't know. Let's go back in here.
At the one of his things. Unfortunately, Jagdeo comes over as dumb, insane, uncaring, or just a bare-faced fabricator who develops his own narrative to browbeat the people of Guyana. Will not be browbeaten. Jagdeo cannot be trusted. He's unfit to manage anything in Guyana and should resign. By extension, if I'm that incompetent, then you should also resign, Norton, for not knowing a basic fact or lying to the people of the country. But I see this actually much worse has been said about me. So
Are you guys paying careful attention that since this press conference started about 41 minutes ago, nothing of substance, wasted my time, wasted my electricity, wasted my every single thing. I could have been somewhere lying on the beach just relaxing with my muscles, and look what, all because I wanted to come to what Tantimor has to say, thinking that Tantimor King Lai is going to be saying something. He has thus far said nothing. This is a waste of time. Is this a leader? Is this what Guyana has right now? God, help me. Help all of us, please.
is constantly voting with the PPP practically every time there's an issue, and that's exacerbating the problem. And then Coretta McDonald said a few days ago that the death is announced of Claudette Singh, funeral to be announced later. I saw the chairman of the Elections Commission writing the commissioner of police because, rightfully so, they feel threatened, copying the speaker about this death threat to her. Not a word from the
NGOs about threatening the life of the chairman of GCOM or disparaging our
This guy's an idiot, a total idiot. People are talking about the political death, the political life of the chairman of GCOM. But when GCOM's chairman, Claudette Singh, was threatened by known drug lords, known money launderers in Guyana, and Claudette Singh has said point blank that a controversial businessman in Guyana was responsible for death threats and wanted her dead. Is it Claudette Singh who said that? What was it? Based on my memory, that Muhammad wanted her dead? Nobody reported that to the police. Jagdeo didn't report that to the police. In fact, Claudette Singh was of the opinion that Jagdeo, who has said so many different things about her, put her life in danger. He put then her life in danger. She was afraid. She was afraid because of what Jagdeo was doing to her, because he wanted to set her up so that she can be killed. That's how Claudette Singh felt at that time. Now suddenly he jumps up to pretend as though he's defending Claudette Singh, all because Coretta McDonald, member of parliament, said that her political life is done. It's done with. The chairmanship of GCOM, it's done with. Coretta McDonald didn't threaten her physical being to say that somebody should go and harm Claudette Singh. You see how these guys are dangerous, dangerous. Look, this is not skin tea time. This guy is dangerous. Wow.
Amanza Walton saying that she votes with the PPP practically on all the issues. It's not true. But even if that was so, because this is a respected judge, it says something about them. They're on the wrong side of most of the issues because they were trying to help the three commissioners. And unfortunately, the COI didn't touch on the role of the commissioners. But they were part of the process, I believe. The three representatives of the opposition on the commission were part of that process that led to the attempt to rig elections. Well, remember drafting the draft.
You see, he got caught there, right? Attempted to rig the elections, then rig elections. Make up your mind, Jagdeo. Make up your mind. You're making no sense at all. It's a waste of time. Waste of time. Can somebody call Sue? Somebody call Sue. I'm done listening to this here. Trust me. I am done listening to this here. Everybody's so wrong. Norton wrong. Lower wrong. Adam Harris wrong. Coretta McDonald wrong. Everybody wrong. Stabrook News wrong. Demerara Waves wrong. And he's not done yet, He's not done yet. Everybody wrong. God, Jesus Christ might be wrong according to him. Muhammad, of whom be peace, might be wrong according to him. Jai Hanuman might be wrong according to everybody's wrong about this guy. The only person that is so right in Guyana right now and around the world is King Lear. Something is wrong with Lucifer's son. Thank you, Beverly. Something is wrong with Lucifer's son. And we cannot expect anything better from Lucifer's son. The faster Lucifer's son and his gang are out of office, the better Guyana would be again. Guyana would be able to breathe again. That is why, guys, you're seeing it for yourselves. This is not propaganda. You're seeing it. You're hearing every single thing. That is why call your relatives and friends. If you're not in Guyana, go out there. Go out there and vote. Go out there and vote. Whoever is Colin McKenzie. Who's Colin McKenzie saying but stop Mark? Who is Colin McKenzie? Colin McKenzie, identify yourself quickly. Because all I see you saying is stop Mark. What am I doing to you? I'm not that kind of guy that you got to look at my face and say stop Mark. Stop Mark? No. Colin McKenzie is saying stop Mark. Come on, identify yourself quickly. And what exactly are you saying stop Mark about? Let's hear what Colin McKenzie is saying. Stop Mark. Stop Mark. It's the wrong mark you get. Stop Mark. What is Colin saying stop Mark about? But let's get another 30 seconds of this Lucifer.
The elections and to use a declaration that was in keeping with the recount. He refused to do so 4 times until the commission,
forced him to. And the three opposition commissioners were not supportive of this. Claudette Singh had to basically vote in favor with the government commissioners to enforce the decision of the Caribbean Court of Justice. They would not support it. On almost every single issue, they've been on the wrong side. So what do you expect Claudette Singh to do? To vote with your commissioners in an attempt to steal elections? And when she doesn't support their plans, then it becomes a problem. Since when the frequency of the vote matters when and not the issues. So we've seen this over and over again, and this assault on Claudette Singh, because as I pointed out, when has APNU ever, if you go back for students of history, you go back and check in our entire electoral history, there have never been an election when before the election they don't complain about fraud. They don't complain about it because they always set the ground to lie to their supporters they've lost because of fraud. And it's happening once again. But Amanza Walton said that about the list. And now a person like that, who is a lawyer, just would give lawyers a bad name. Now to say, she said that sometime in the past that Jagdeo has said we need to clean up the list. So when I speak contextually. You have to look at the context that I was speaking about. The context is that clear off the dead names from the voters list. We're still in favor of that. And GCOM has the power to do so. We've suggested how they can do so. Get all of the names come from the GRO over to GCOM, publish the names in the newspapers for the entire country, people who are deceased, send the copies of the dead names to all the political parties that they can verify that. Once it's verified, there's no objection. You remove all the names. So everyone who is dead is off the voters list. We're in favor of that. But we can't be in favor of an unconstitutional act. And she knows that this matter was tested in the court. And the Chief Justice already pointed out, you can't do what APNU want. It would be unconstitutional. And the reasons are that one, prior to the new constitution that we all supported, APNU and PPP, and that I signed into law as a new constitution of Guyana. In the old constitution, there were three requirements to vote. One, that you had to be 18 years and above. Two, that you had to be a resident of
Waste of time, Bangladesh, right? Hey, courtesies and others, good afternoon. Remember those times when Jagdeo was attacking, and for 20 something years, he's attacked Claudette Singh. Now, all of a sudden, he loves Claudette Singh, right? He remember I have conversations with Claudette Singh and Claudette admitted that this guy is basically a fraud, that this guy is a madman, and this guy just basically wants her dead. Jagdeo wants her dead. Now, because of a political statement made by Coretta McDonald, Member of Parliament, that the life, she's not saying anybody should go and hurt Claudette Singh, the chairwoman of GCOM. Claudette Singh, Coretta McDonald never said that. She's speaking of the political life and the chairmanship, the tenure of the chairmanship. But that is how Jagdeo loves when things are twisted around. When things are twisted around, he enjoys that. And that's exactly what he's doing there. Hey, guys, I think I've had enough of him. I think I've had enough of the lies. I just want to apologize to you guys ahead of time that, look, I'm sorry that I put you guys through this traumatic, almost 1 hour. I know it is painful to even watch and to even imagine that this guy here is heading Guyana. God, we can just imagine where Guyana is right now. We know where it is. Guys, look, go out and I tortured you guys. Sorry about that. I tortured you guys with this Lucifer here. But go out and vote on June 12th. Go out and vote. Stop the complaining. We will complain after. And we'll try to fix things after the local government elections. Read between the lines. We'll try to fix things after the local government elections. Go out in your numbers. Go out in your numbers and vote. Whether you're in New Amsterdam, Rose Hall, Linden, Georgetown, wherever you are, go out in your numbers and vote in the local government elections. And again, like I've said, when the local government elections are over, we will try to fix, and we will get fixed, whatever the problems are. Read between the lines. We will ensure that we get whatever fixed when that is over. We've got to go though, but I'll see you guys tonight. I'll have my guest, someone that Jagdeo doesn't really like. I'll have that guest on. But for now, I've got to go. Bye-bye. Sorry I put you guys through all of this. I tortured. Imagine I tortured some of you guys, right? Somebody said I put them through hell. Somebody said I tortured them. Colin McKenzie, yes, good afternoon, man. I got you, bro. G1 and all of them, man, I'm sorry. Look, now I got to apologize to all of the listeners of 107.1 FM. Everybody I got to apologize to, all because of Tanti Moral. Tanti Moral came on. All Tanti Moral talked about is Tanti Moral, Tanti Moral, Tanti Moral, Tanti Moral. We heard nothing about country. We heard nothing constructive about the oil funds that they took. We heard nothing about the future of the country. All we heard is who attacked Tanti Moral, who scratched Tanti Moral, who joked Tanti Moral, who turned Tanti Moral. Or, well, we didn't hear that. He's going to hide that from you. Nothing at all. Nothing that made any sense, right, baby? Rhonda and all of you guys. I've got to go, man. Tanti Moral just wasted my time. I could have been on the beach just relaxing with a nice cold glass of swamp or something. Oh, gosh. I got to go. See you guys at 9 o'clock tonight. Tata. Stay blessed, guys. Be strong. Urge your relatives to go out and vote. Forget about the soup drinkers. Forget about the house slaves. Urge your relatives to go out and vote. God bless you all. See you this evening.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.